The moment I saw her car parked outside that hotel, I knew. My chest tightened, my hands clenched the steering wheel so hard I thought it would snap. The same black Mercedes she told me was at the mechanic for the past week. The same damn car I had bought for her last anniversary. But it wasn't just the car. It was the way she stepped out laughing, her hands all over him, some tall, suit-wearing prick who looked way too comfortable touching my wife. I sat frozen, my heart pounding in my ears. This wasn't suspicion anymore. This was proof. Then, before I could even process the rage burning in my chest, it happened, a crash. Another car slammed into the side of my wife's parked Mercedes, glass shattering, metal crunching. People screamed. The guy she was with yanked her away just in time. And just like that, the night I caught my wife cheating turned into something even crazier. Because now she saw me. Her eyes went wide. She wasn't scared, no. She was furious. She stormed toward my car, shoving past the bystanders, her face twisted with anger, not guilt, not regret, but anger. Like I was the problem here. I rolled down the window just as she reached me. "What the hell are you doing here, Jake?" she spat. I stared at her, then at the man standing behind her, the same man she chose over me. I exhaled slowly. "No, Emily," I said, my voice ice cold. "What the hell are you doing here?" She blinked. Just for a second, her face changed like she had been caught in the act. But then, just as fast, the mask was back on. She crossed her arms and scoffed. "You're insane," she hissed. "Are you following me now?" I let out a sharp laugh. "Following you?" "No, Emily. I left work early and just happened to see my wife sneaking out of a hotel with another man." I pointed at her car, still smashed from the accident. "The same car you told me was at the shop." She didn't even flinch. Didn't stutter, didn't look away. "Oh, grow up, Jake. You're acting like a psycho." "I was having dinner with a friend." I looked at the guy behind her. He wasn't saying a word, just standing there like an idiot. "A friend, huh? Dinner?" I repeated, shaking my head. "You're unbelievable." She smirked. "You're pathetic." That did it. My blood boiled as I pushed open the door and stepped out. Pathetic? Pathetic is sneaking around like a damn teenager and thinking I wouldn't find out. She rolled her eyes. "Jesus, Jake, this is why she stopped herself." Oh, that was interesting." I took a step closer. "Why you what, Emily?" She clenched her jaw. Then, without missing a beat, she turned to the guy behind her. "Let's go, Nathan." Nathan. His name was Nathan. Now I had a name for the piece of trash standing in my spot. And that's when I saw it, the way he hesitated. Like he suddenly realized he wasn't just some stranger caught in an awkward moment. He was the other guy. For the first time, he spoke. "Maybe we should talk somewhere else, Em," he said, his voice low. Emily whipped around. "Oh, don't be such a coward," she snapped. Then she looked back at me. "Jake, just go home. We'll talk about this later." I barked out a laugh. "Talk?" "No, Emily, I think we're past talking." But she was already turning away like I was nothing. Like this whole scene was just an inconvenience to her night. And I stood there watching her walk away with him, every nerve in my body screaming at me to do something. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Emily. "If you do anything stupid, you'll regret it." I stared at the screen. Oh, she had no idea. I gripped my phone so hard my knuckles turned white. She really thought she could just walk away, send a smug little text, and that would be the end of it? She had no idea who she was dealing with. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. Exploding in public wouldn't do me any good. Not yet. But my mind was already spinning, piecing everything together. The late nights, the sudden business trips, the way she barely touched me anymore, this had been going on for months. And I had been blind. I turned back to her car, still wrecked from the crash. Poetic justice. For once, she wasn't in control. Someone else had smashed her perfect little world, just like she had smashed mine. I could have walked away. Could have left her there with her side piece and dealt with this later, in private. But then she made a mistake. She glanced over her shoulder. And smirked. Like she had one. Like I was the fool. That smirk did something to me. It flipped a switch I didn't even know I had. I started walking toward her. Slow, controlled. She noticed, stopping just as she reached Nathan's car. "What now, Jake?" she sighed, already bored. Nathan shifted beside her, clearly uncomfortable. He wasn't expecting drama tonight. I stopped a few feet away, looking directly at him. "Does your wife know?" Nathan paled. "Bingo." Emily stiffened. "You're being ridiculous." I ignored her. "Let me guess. Business trips, late nights, telling her you're working overtime." I tilted my head. That's what Emily used to tell me. Nathan swallowed hard. His hands twitched at his sides. He had a wife. And now he was realizing just how deep he had screwed himself. I smiled. What do you think happens when I send her a message? Emily turned on me like a viper. Don't you dare. Oh, I dare, sweetheart. I pulled out my phone, unlocking the screen. In fact, I think she deserves to know right now. Nathan panicked. Look, Manda. I held up a hand. Shut up, Nathan. You made your bed. Now lie in it. Emily was fuming. Jake, if you do this, I swear. What, Emily? I stepped closer, lowering my voice. You'll cheat on me harder? Her eyes burned with hatred. Not regret. Not remorse. Just pure, seething hatred. I smirked. Now we were even. Then I hit send. The second my finger pressed send, Emily lunged for my phone. I was ready. I yanked it back, stepping away as she clawed at me like a wild animal. You bastard, she shrieked, eyes blazing. You think this is funny? I chuckled, slipping the phone into my pocket. I think it's justice. Nathan looked like he was about to puke. His hands trembled as he pulled out his own phone, probably praying his wife hadn't seen the message yet. Too late. His phone buzzed. He stared at the screen, color draining from his face. Emily turned on him. Don't listen to him, baby, she cooed, shifting gears like the manipulative viper she was. We can fix this. I laughed out loud. Baby? I repeated. Wow, that's rich. So is that what you call him in bed too? She spat at me. Not just words, actual spit. It landed near my shoe, and for a second I just stood there, staring at her in disbelief. You're disgusting, I muttered. Her lip curled. And you're pathetic. Nathan was already fumbling with his keys, desperate to get the hell out of here before his entire life burned down. Emily spun on him, grabbing his arm. You're not leaving me, are you? She pouted, her voice sugar-sweet. You know I love you. I almost doubled over laughing. Wow, Em, really? I clapped my hands mockingly. That's exactly what you told me when you were begging me to marry you. Nathan yanked his arm free. His phone rang. He hesitated, then answered. Hey, baby, he said weakly. A screech blasted through the speaker. Emily panicked. Nathan, hang up. We can fix this. He shoved her away. No, we can't, he snapped. His whole body was shaking. You told me you were done with him. You said. He turned to me, breathing hard. You two were still together? I grinned. Married, actually. For 5 years. Paid for her car, her apartment, her little vacations. You're welcome. Nathan looked like he wanted to throw up. His wife's voice was still screeching through the phone. He turned away, walking toward his car. Emily lost it. Nathan, don't you dare walk away, she screamed. We love each other. He didn't even look back. He got in his car, slammed the door, and peeled out of the parking lot, leaving her behind. Silence. For the first time, Emily had nothing to say. I exhaled, the weight in my chest finally lifting. Looks like neither of us have a spouse anymore. Her head snapped toward me, eyes wild. This isn't over, Jake. I smirked. Oh, sweetheart. I turned toward my car. It's just getting started. Emily was shaking with rage, her fists clenched at her sides. I'd never seen her like this before, completely unhinged, raw, stripped of the lies and fake sweetness she used to manipulate people. This was who she really was. I opened my car door, but she wasn't done. You think you won? She spat. You think this little stunt means anything? I'll make sure you regret this, Jake. You'll lose everything. I turned back to her, leaning against the car. I already lost everything the moment I trusted you. She let out a bitter laugh. Oh, please. You weren't some perfect husband, Jake. You were boring. Predictable. A pathetic little man who thought buying me things would make me love you. I felt that one. Not because it was true, but because it showed just how much she never deserved me. I smiled. Yeah? Then why did you fight so hard to keep me in the dark? Why sneak around, lie, hide things if I was so worthless to you? For the first time, she hesitated. She didn't have an answer. I let that silence hang in the air, then reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. By the way, I recorded everything. Her eyes went wide. You're bluffing. I tapped the screen, playing back the audio, her shrieking at Nathan, her admitting to the affair, the insults she threw at me. Crystal clear. Her face drained of color. You can't. Oh, but I can. I locked my phone. And I will. My lawyer's gonna have a field day with this. She lunged at me, but I was ready. I stepped aside and she stumbled, nearly falling. Good luck explaining this when we go to court, I said, getting into my car. Emily was breathing hard, her entire world crashing down around her. I rolled down the window. By the way, Em. She turned, eyes blazing. I smirked. I hope he was worth it. Then I hit the gas and left her standing there, alone, in the wreckage of her own choices. The road blurred past me as I drove, my grip tight on the steering wheel. My heart was still hammering, but not from sadness. No, that part was gone. What replaced it was something colder, sharper. Freedom. Emily was done. She had no more power over me. I pulled into the driveway of our house, my house now, and stepped inside. It felt different. Lighter. Like the weight of her lies had been lifted. I walked through the living room, past the couch where she used to sit and pretend to care about me, past the kitchen where she once laughed while making dinner, except it had all been fake. Every moment, every word, just another act in her endless performance. My phone buzzed. A message from her. Jake, let's talk. Please. I stared at the screen, shaking my head. She still thought she could manipulate me. I tossed the phone onto the counter and walked to the bedroom. The bed was still made, her side untouched. How many nights had I laid there, wondering what I'd done wrong? How many times had I questioned myself while she was out doing God knows what? Not anymore. I grabbed a suitcase from the closet and started packing. She thought I'd sit around waiting for her to ruin me? Not a chance. Another buzz. Another message. Jake, don't do anything stupid. We need to talk. I chuckled. Now she was worried. She wasn't scared of losing me, no, that ship had sailed. She was scared because she had lost control. I ignored the message and kept packing. A few minutes later, headlights flashed through the window. Tires screeched to a stop in the driveway. She was here. A sharp knock at the door. Then another. Then pounding. Jake, open the door. I sighed, walking to the entrance, but I didn't open it. Go home, Emily. I swear to God, Jake, if you don't open this door, I swung it open. She stood there, hair wild, eyes desperate. Not broken, not regretful, furious. You're not leaving, she said, pushing past me into the house. I smirked. Looks like I am. Her eyes darted to the suitcase. Where the hell do you think you're going? I crossed my arms. Away from you. She let out a sharp laugh, shaking her head. You're so dramatic. You think you're the victim here? I took a step closer, voice low. I don't think I'm the victim, Emily. I know I am. She opened her mouth to argue, but I wasn't interested. I pointed at the door. Get out. She scoffed. You're kicking me out of our house? I smiled. You mean my house? Bought and paid for by me? Yeah, Emily. I am. She hesitated. For the first time I saw it, the cracks forming in her arrogance. Jake? She started, her voice softer now. Fake. Let's just calm down. We can talk. I stepped back, holding up my phone. I've got the recording. I've got proof. I've got everything I need to make sure you get nothing. Her face twisted. You wouldn't. I smiled. Try me. Silence. Then, for the first time that night, she looked scared. Not because she cared. Not because she was sorry. But because she finally realized she lost. Emily's hands clenched into fists at her sides, her jaw tightening as she glared at me. That fake sweetness, that manipulative charm, all gone. Now, she was just a woman who had played the wrong game and lost. You're making a mistake, Jake, she hissed, her voice shaking. I let out a short laugh, leaning against the doorframe. Oh, I'm making a mistake? That's rich, coming from the woman who blew up our marriage in a hotel parking lot. She took a step closer, lowering her voice like she still had some kind of control. You don't have to do this. We've built a life together. You don't just throw that away over one mistake. I raised an eyebrow. One mistake. I scoffed. Emily, don't insult me. I wasn't blind, I just ignored the signs. The late nights, the work trips, the way you'd roll your eyes when I tried to touch you. I shook my head. No, this wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. And you made it over and over again. Her lips parted like she was about to argue, but I didn't give her the chance. You lied to me. Used me. Humiliated me. I took a step forward, closing the space between us. And now you're done. You don't get to cry your way out of this. You don't get to play the victim. She swallowed hard. For the first time, she had nothing to say. Then, like a cornered animal, she lashed out. Fine, she spat, her face twisting in fury. You want to act like the innocent one? Like you were some perfect husband? Please, Jake. You were boring. Predictable. A weak little man who thought buying me things would make me stay. I exhaled through my nose, forcing myself not to react. She wanted that. She wanted me to snap, to lose control. Instead, I smiled. Calm. Steady. Unshaken. Funny, I said, tilting my head. If I was so weak, why were you so scared of me finding out? She froze. I saw it. That flicker of doubt. That realization that she wasn't in control anymore. Her phone buzzed. She pulled it out, glancing at the screen. I knew exactly who it was. Nathan's wife. I smirked. Guess I wasn't the only one sending messages tonight. Her face dropped. Jake? She whispered, panic creeping into her voice. I shrugged. Actions have consequences, Em. She stared at me, her mouth opening and closing like she was searching for the right words. But there weren't any. She'd spent years lying her way through life, twisting reality to fit whatever story she needed to tell. But now? Now, the truth was staring her in the face. And she couldn't escape it. I stepped back, opening the door wider. You should go. She blinked. You're serious? Dead serious. Her eyes darted around like she was looking for an out, a way to turn this around. But there was nothing left. She clenched her jaw. You'll regret this. I chuckled, shaking my head. No, Emily. You will. She grabbed her purse off the counter, storming toward the door. As she passed me, she muttered, You're pathetic. I didn't even flinch. She stepped outside, then spun around. This isn't over, Jake. I met her gaze, my expression cold. Yeah, it is. And then I slammed the door in her face. The silence after the door slammed shut was deafening. For the first time in years, there was no more pretending. No more second-guessing. No more walking on eggshells, wondering if I was doing something wrong. I leaned against the door, exhaling slowly. My hands weren't shaking. My breathing was steady. I expected to feel broken. I expected to feel the weight of everything crashing down on me. But instead, I felt free. Emily was gone. Her lies, her manipulation, the suffocating toxicity she brought into my life, it was all over. I walked back into the house, taking in every inch of it. My house. It finally felt like mine again. Not some stage where I played the role of the perfect husband while my wife lived a double life. My phone buzzed again. I half expected another desperate message from her, but when I checked, it wasn't. It was from Nathan's wife. Thank you. I smirked, shaking my head. Looks like Emily wasn't the only one having a bad night. I put the phone down and grabbed a bottle of whiskey from the cabinet. Pouring myself a glass, I walked over to the living room and sank into the couch. For the first time in years, I could actually breathe. No more excuses. No more lies. No more fighting for someone who never fought for me. She thought I'd be broken. That I'd beg, plead, try to fix what was already destroyed. But I wasn't broken. I was reborn. I took a slow sip of whiskey, letting the warmth settle in. She was right about one thing, this wasn't over. Not for her. Because while I was moving on, she'd have to live with the fact that she lost the one man who actually gave a damn about her. And that was her real punishment. I smirked to myself, raising my glass to the empty room. To freedom. And for the first time in a long time, I actually meant it.